on a beautiful evening where yet again we are talking about rugby, but this one is particularly special. Welcome to the Fat Cats Rugby Podcast, where we are trying to figure out how old is Bruno. Why we are asking that is because of a tweet that was put out by Josh Mirondo, where he referred to Bruno as a fossil and saying that he did his A-level in 1998, but finds a way to mix in and hang with Barasha, who was born apparently in 1998. All this is hearsay off social media. We don't know how true that is, but yeah, maybe Bruno will one day confirm with us. My name is Ruben Kihumuro.
Bruno is my age.
Bruno is your age, but also you're not young. But there is saying Bruno is your age, thinking that you're still amongst the young.
Certainly not 11, 98. But anyway, Josh usually has some information.
Okay, maybe. But I hope Bruno will confirm, and then maybe we'll find Josh at the rugby club to confirm how did he know how old he was.
Maybe but anyway, he's equally that old. Okay.
Today is a very, very interesting day. It's Cobs Pirates Week, and it's going to be the big basis of our conversation today. And today with us we have a very good friend of the podcast who decided to grace us with his time. He, according to our sources, has not been allowing any sort of interviews, especially camera interviews. So we are honored, Mr. Jude Mugabi. Jude, welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, and I have not been hiding. If you remember when you're still with Kratos, I did interview
How many years ago is that?
In Mutungo, when you were at Design Hub, when you were at Bandali, I don't know. Okay. Just that they've been wiped off the internet. I can't find them anymore.
Man, for some reason, I don't know that the whole system had a problem. There's a lot of stuff that we need to understand and to figure out. Yeah. But I want us to start with this in particular. What really irks you or pisses you off about rugby in Uganda? I think I'll start this conversation off interviews of our own spaces when I'm hearing the speakers say what they're saying. Eric Muller's nickname is the way people pronounce it just bothers me. I hear people saying Ochochincho. Like, what the f-? Like, do people, I'm sorry for even cursing, but do people actually know that is Ochocinco and that it means 85? Do people ever do their homework? Do people ever use Google? Anyway, that is just me. Caesar, what pisses you off?
What pisses me off is when you're looking for people to come on such shows, podcast spaces, and they pull that move of they are not in position to come, or they are not allowed to come, and we all want publicity. Our sport wants to be publicized, and just a few people in our rugby world that can help us publicize that sport. And if they cannot do the media work to publicize the sport, and I find that very weird. And also, the other thing that pisses me off to the media. Of late, I've been attacking the media anyway.
Yeah, 2 podcasts in a row now.
The media also has a cramped set of people they go to. I don't know, maybe that set of people they go to are very comfortable, or they are very influential, or they know those media people, but they have groups that they go to for publicity, and I feel like they should widen, because unfortunately you might have that set of people, but when their influence, their so-called influence, is to their close circle. But we don't want their close circle, because their close circle is already here anyway in the sport. I feel like the media needs to be a bit more inclusivity in the media world as regards to rugby space.
Okay. Jude.
Yeah. I think for me, there are two things. One is the union. We fail on the very basic things. For example, we don't have a calendar for this year. Today the union put out a tweet that there is going to be, I think, a tournament
Yeah, Rugby Africa.
August. Yeah, September.
Yes.
So it's just like a random thing they've put out there today. We don't have a proper calendar. If you see the Kenyan guys, they know they're going to have 7 starting mid-July. Then they'll break off after 3 circuits. They'll host the Under-20 World Cup. Then the 7s will continue. Then their other things will start. In Uganda, we don't have that. And it's hard to plan for the clubs. Even, I think, for the clubs mainly. You can't get a few things like that right. It just bothers me.
Two things. I comment on this. Two things. I want to be guided on these two things. One, when you attack the union about this or the leadership of rugby in the country, they tell you that they communicated to the clubs that you are here. I saw you. I saw you fighting with. That they communicated with the clubs and they gave these calendars. These calendars actually exist, but for some reason they are not public documentation. You have to go to the club. Now, if I have issues with my club, you mean I won't know the calendar? Secondly,
why do you have issues with your club?
No, I'm hypothetical. I don't have any issues with my club. Hypothetically. Also, secondly, who is in charge of certain things? Is it the union or is it the secretariat run by the CEO? We need to differentiate this. Maybe we direct our attacks to the wrong people. Also, okay, the union is the boss of and is the face of the sport. That's true. But I wanted to, maybe if we direct our attacks on the actual people, I have it on good authority that one of the things that the CEO, who is my friend, wanted to change as regard to rugby is a communication part. That these things are there, but they don't communicate them to us. So we will keep whining, and when you whine enough, you will see such a tweet. I don't know whether it's just taking
I want to rebut. I don't think that is entirely true. I think there's communication that comes from the union to the clubs, and if you're a subscribed member, you're definitely going to you're definitely going to get that information, or maybe there is a lapse somewhere. But I asked the president of the union just this week. I'm like, when are we having Elgon Cup, or are we going to have it? He says we are still in discussion. That means the calendar doesn't exist. And with the way Kenyans are set up, the way I saw their calendar, that much is not going to happen, even if he said they're in talks. Because within the next 2 months, they're going to be starting serious stuff for them. I don't see it happening. Best case scenario, we're playing like Zambia. Zimbabwe is sending a second string side.
There were talks about a modified Victoria Cup, because Elgon Cup, honestly, we are still benching. The truth is, man, we're not in Kenya's plans. Kenya is on they're testing themselves with South Africa. They're testing themselves in different aspects, really. I mean, I don't think they see any value in really having the Elgon Cup these days. We are really the ones just trying to tie ourselves on it, in my opinion. I really feel like we should also first move on from it, especially in regards to 15s, where we are not really giving them any much competition. And then when we are ready and we have earned our stripes, they will even be the ones coming back to beg.
I think it's already happening, but that's another conversation for another day. Tables might be different. It might be the other way around. It seems Kenya wants Elgon Cup more than we do. That's why those discussions are going on. If the discussions aren't going, okay, I almost sound like the union representative. But anyway, if the reason why those discussions are going on is because Kenya wants it, otherwise wouldn't be in the discussions. If they really did need it, they really did need us.
I hope that they don't send us their second team.
I don't care. I want to play. I want international rugby, second or not. I want international rugby because that second team that we keep complaining about keeps beating us.
It's happened before. I think the last time we won Elgon Cup, 2015, they sent us a Kenya A side, not the Simbas.
And they still, Kenya went to SA and played an under team. I don't think they will whine that, oh my God, we traveled all this way and they didn't give us. They gave them the proper bowers. My Lord, they won't have shoulders.
But the last game they played, they won. So
I saw Ugandans trolling Kenya about their loss to the under-20 team.
Those are stupid Ugandans.
I am telling you, even if it was a university side that came here from South Africa, would have quite a challenge. I don't want to say we'd lose because anything is possible in sport, but we'd have a big challenge.
I have a good friend.
I saw the African Leopard team, the Pan-African team that played in 2005. it had Pierre Spies. Now, if you know Pierre Spies, he was a beast.
Yeah.
But in that university side, he was playing as a winger. He was against Suki. So you can imagine that kind of matchup.
All I know, if ever we got a chance to face proper Springboks, my friend Chisano, that shoulder, my lord.
Anyway, for those that are seeing, as you can see, we're at the Fred and Winnie B&B, keeping properly hydrated and also having a few snacks. Sometimes your snacks need to be healthy, not all the time that you need to eat a couple of things, although we tend to have a couple of other meals later on in the evening after our podcast. However, we are at the Fred and Winnie B&B, and what you need to know about the Fred and Winnie B&B are the 10 self-contained private bedrooms, a fully equipped kitchen, a power backup system, Wi-Fi, laundry services, a chef to cater to your every meal, and a sumptuous buffet breakfast with a choice of selected tropical fruits and juice. Pick up and drop off from International Airport, as well as traveling around the country. You can basically order as long as you communicate in advance, and bookings are made on the number 0778 933 559. So the gist of what we are here for today: Cobs versus Pirates, game week 18. It's been quite the journey. It's a marathon, the league. 18 weekends. We have played 17 so far. Looking at the table, the Cobs standing at 75 points, having dropped a bonus point in the last game week but one. Stanbic Pirates as well having 75 points. The difference being that the Cobs have 523 points in the points difference tally. And then the Pirates have 335, a whopping close to 200 or so difference, making sure that if it came to if it came to anything to do with mathematics, Cobs are really putting themselves on a different level. But also looking at some of the stats that our team was able to gather. Cobs, for those that don't know, the Kampala Old Boys, that was founded in 1963, just after independence. And then Black Pirates, which was founded in 1996. I believe all of us here are older than Pirates. I beg to be corrected in case someone is younger. Maybe Joel is younger behind the camera. Wins in total, 14 for the Cobs and 9 for the Pirates. This is 15s we are comparing. At Legends, 11 wins for the Cobs, 7 for the Pirates. At Kings Park, 2 for the Cobs and 1 for the Pirates. Also looking at, there's a matchup that was played at Chadondo. Actually, 2 matchups were played at Chadondo, with both being shared, 1 each. But I think the biggest standout here has been around the wins, the number of wins, the biggest wins being at 48-8 for the Cobs and then 28-11 for Pirates. I know many will ask about the 30-16 score that was on Women's Day, that dreadful day, but this is a bigger margin, regardless of the fact that it is 28 as compared to 30. But anyway, there's so much that has been happening during the course of the season between the two teams, and I just want us to start from there. But before we really get into that, I want to ask Jude, in a sport where we struggle to get information, statistics and everything, where do you keep coming with these stats you constantly post? You always have these nuggets, and then I'm like, how did he even have this information?
Well, I am a lover of information generally, so I read a lot of stuff. I read a lot of stuff. So yeah, when I read, I note it somewhere. So sometimes I'm quite lucky. Someone is looking for something, and I've just come across it. So that's it.
Okay, that must be quite a database. Maybe the union needs to hire you for your services, because records are a big challenge that we still have. But I'll start with you still. Looking at the Pirates season, from that big win at the start of the season against Heathens, where Alex Aturinda was put up a stellar performance, What's your reflection of this season going into game week 18?
I think we started the season very well with a very big win, and I think from there our boys got a bit complacent because the next games we sort of struggled to win convincingly until, like, for 2 games, Rhinos and Ginger, until Mongers. That's when we really picked up and scored big points, and that was before the Cops game. So the momentum was quite halted there, and so we started, like, it's like we started again afresh after the Cops loss, and from then we've been very good.
Yeah, okay. Caesar, we have seen the Cobs come out and be their usual ruthless self, justifying why they, for a while, have been called bonus point RFC, having the most bonus points in the league, which is 15. Keeping in mind that Pirates had a number of bonus points that they did leave on the table for against certain teams. One most notably against Hippos at Kings Park, where they seem to have switched off in the second half. One at Makere against Rams, and about 2 others.
Against Buffaloes and
Yeah.
Ginger away.
Yeah, then those Buffaloes.
Thank you very much. Because last week we were arguing. This young man was saying Pirates got a bonus point
No,
against
we had
Buffalo.
2 tries. It was a game in the mud. We
Yeah.
actually, the first half we led, I think, 9-0. We took a while to score the tries.
Actually, I don't
We
know.
focused on the win.
Not across.
We focused on the win first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think one thing I've noticed is that Pirates have not been the best. They start best, but they have not been the best of finishers. But one thing I've noticed about Cobs is they finish strong. What is your reflection of this season so far? I've seen a lot of positional changes. Last week, the Faraji Odugo was put on the wing. Granted, he was a winger in Buffaloes, but he had totally morphed into a forward and a hooker at that, a very good hooker. But we saw him at 11 last week. We have seen about 6 different halfback combination changes. What's your reflection of the season for Cobs up until now?
Well, Cobs. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite season as a Cobs player. As a Cobs fan, sorry. As a Cobs fan. We have a bunch of players that have decided to put in a shift this season. That explains our score lines or our points difference. Notably, Pius Ogena, Joseph Aredo, Michael Cho. I can name so many people. We have a season where, like you said, the halfback pairings might be looked at as an issue, yes, at first because the team doesn't get comfortable with who to play, who they are playing with at the halfback combination. It's the coach. We have a new coach, and this is his first season as a Cobs official Cobs coach. And I love this season because this is a players' season. This season, we had constraints, talking about financial constraints in the club, differences here and there, but the players, despite all these issues, stood up and said, "Let's be counted. We are Cobs players. Let's show up." Even when very many people are saying this one won't play, this one came to Cobs because of money, he will leave because Cobs has no money. The players stood up and were counted. This season is entirely on the players and the technical team because they fought despite everything, and they've put on some stellar. if and I can tell you, if Aaron didn't go for sevens, Aaron will be up there competing with Pius for the playoff season. But for me, because Aaron went to sevens, Pius is the best player of the season. He just switched on. I don't know what he's chasing, but he just switched on. So the team in general are playing really well, and they're fighting for each other. But you see, when you have such a team, then its influential players have to do the leadership. And for me, that's what has gotten Cobs there. Yes, we have those games, those 2 losses against our nemesis Heathens. I don't know why. We can quote all those things we've been talking about all season. Refs here, refs there, refs. But for some reason, we've not beaten Heathens in a while.
Yep, there is that, but also keeping in mind that there were rumors that the team had almost thrown in the towel after that whole penalty try, Wutimba debacle, and
Oh,
now you find yourselves in this position.
well, I am not here to substantiate. Before, I used to have an ear with the authorities, the people that run the club, but now not so much because on pressure for of late so much. So I try to stay away from the club. So I can't substantiate those rumors. I don't know. I don't know whether the team wanted to step down. The ones I talked to didn't say that. The ones I talked to did tell me they wanted to step down. They felt an injustice was done on them, but they picked themselves up. Man, Cubs players have gone through a lot this season.
I was at Chadondo that day, and I crossed to Legends immediately after the game, like most Cubs fans. And the truth is that word was going around. But it was, of course, the heat of the moment.
Yeah,
I
the heat
think
of the
you
moment.
get sober and you're like, we can get over this and
Yeah.
still compete for the league.
I think it was also the perfect time for the Easter weekend to come because there was a weekend off, allowed people to really cool down. Yeah.
But so far so good. Really, I'm happy with this season. I'm happy with, of course, all this gets negated if they lose because to the rest of the world, a good season is judged by a trophy being lifted, which I believe the boys are going to lift. But what they've gone through to reach the level they've reached, what the club has gone through to reach the level they've reached, it's, for me, it's what validates if we win on Saturday. When we win on Saturday, Ruben, that will be the most justified I've been ever to be a rugby fan, to be honest.
Yeah, usually they say number 2 is the first loser, but yeah, both teams will definitely be eyeing that top position, and they'll both have reasons to validate why their season should be capped off with such a win. Jude, looking at the whole transition into Boyogere Kings Park, a couple of years now, looking at the new fan base that is ever growing. I mean, if you go to Kings Park on a rugby Saturday these days, you don't see the usual rugby circles, but you also see a couple of new fans clad in the jersey now. Really, what are your thoughts about this Pirates team? Where do you think the strength is in regards to the team going into this weekend?
I think our biggest strength as a team is it is a unit. The guys have been together for a long time. If you look at our stats, you'll see that Gongodi has played over 50 games, Chideka has played over 50 games, Tashobi has played over 50 games, Kawagambi has played over 50 games, Magoma has been there for 10 years. Like, the guys have been together for a long time, for quite a long time. So I think that's our biggest advantage. It's that stability. You can almost predict the Pirates lineup. When someone is not there, you know who's going to replace them. So that's what I can say about the team.
There has been over the course of the season, there were complaints about. Granted, it's an honor for anyone to be called up for the national team, but it seems to always be something that punctures Pirates' momentum as they try to amass points and try to compete with the other top two in the league. Now that we are seeing the likes of Sydney Gongodio, who has been getting Man of the Match awards almost every weekend, Humphrey Tashobia slotting into that 7 shirt properly, and looking at the young man Moses Ziwa, who has found his confidence, putting up colossal performances. But now, keep in mind, there is the return of Alex Saturinda, there's the return of Desire Ayera, and so many other people. It looks like there's headache for Marvin Odong. Really, what do you do if you are Marvin Odong in this point? Because keep in mind, you have players that have already been catching their stride. Players that won you a crucial game at Chadondo against Heathens. Do you offset them for their, what I would call in quotes, seniors who had gone for national team? How do you balance this out without upsetting the team's chemistry?
I think, first of all, I would like to say that Marvin has been on record saying he's welcoming that headache very well. And I think he'll do the best. He'll put out the best team, what he thinks is best for the team. But on my personal input, what I would do, I think I would stick with the guys that have been around, played the whole season.
Okay.
except if you like one position, that's where I would make a change. But I would stick with the guys who've been there and use the guys who are returning as the bomb squad.
Okay. Caesar, the halfback combination is something that has been spoken about for so long. I mean, at the first leg win that had Cobs and Pirates at Kings Park Arena, we did see Josiah Sempeke move to 9, and Gizamba was a 10, the youngster, who was actually thrown into the deep end just because of some work commitments that made James Ijongat come late. So he was supposed to start on the bench, but that's just one of the combinations. We have seen Chiwalabi come in for some of the games at 9. We have seen Joseph Aredo being moved from 10 to 13. What do you think is your ideal halfback combination to get the result you want on Saturday?
Well, personally, I cannot tell you which 9 we should play. Because whereas the best 9 in Cobs is known, the best 9 in Cobs is Chiwalabi, but his work commitment is a bit tricky. I'm very, very happy that the games are at 4, because if that game was at 2:30, oh my lord, Chiwalabi would have found us in second half because of the kind of work he does. So one thing is certain. Honestly, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, because
why don't you have a preference from the games that you've watched?
The preference. I don't know. I don't know how to say this, but what I prefer has always been red at 10.
Okay.
I would want to see a red or a 10. A red or a 10. If I don't know how fit our sevens players are, to how ready the coach is to incorporate our sevens players. Anyway, our team is obvious. Unfortunately,
I don't think your team is obvious.
The biggest issue with our team, I'm finding it very hard to talk because I've not watched training in a while unintentionally, because I've not been well. So for me, what I think the biggest issue is going to be is at 15. Who plays at 15? Who plays? We have a bunch of people that can play there. We have Sempeke, we have Kemis, we have they can put Red there, they can put Karim there. You get, but then Casito himself. So it's actually one of the biggest issue I have with Cobs is its line. I can never name the line, because even Ijongat, I'm going to go off record saying on a good day, Ijo is one of the best ends. We have in Cobs, and he can control a game on his best days. He can control that game, and you can cause havoc. And he has been training to the best of my ability. So I don't know. Honestly, my preference is Red at 10. That's what I can tell you. Whoever plays at 9 or not, Red can control anyone who's playing at 9. But even Ijo at 10 would do well. Even Sempeke has played enough big games. The person I worry about is Gizamba, because of that under-20 tournament where things didn't go well for him. I'm not sure about his confidence coming into this game, because this is going to be, if he has played a pressure game before, he has never played a game like this.
I don't think
he has never played a game like this.
But I think you need a calm person, like a young person like that. I don't think he has that much pressure on him.
Well, you're lying. You see, let me tell you why.
I don't think Gizamba is even going to be on that squad, man. I don't.
That is your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's your opinion. Yeah. But let me tell you why, Jude. Because yes, he's a young kid and he doesn't know what's going to happen on Saturday. But as soon as you kick that ball, that's when you realize, whoa, what I'm playing in is a different ball game. Yes, he did well. He did well at Kings Park. He really, really did well. That's why we talk about it, because it was a shocker. He did well. He was thrown in the deep end and he did well at Kings. But it was his first game. It's at the start of the league. Okay, in the middle of the league, a lot can happen. A lot can change. I mean, we beat Pirates and I, for one, thought that they were done for the season. Look where we are. So you see, but this game is a final. It's even bigger than a Uganda Cup final. It's bigger than any final because this is the league. It's the most coveted trophy in Ugandan rugby. And the winner takes it all. Oh my God. that boy doesn't know what is going to come. But I think he will be on the team. I actually really think he will be on the team. But
speaking of winners taking it all, there is still some conspiracy. I don't know if it's conspiracy or mathematics going around that in the event that Cubs and Pirates draw, and for some reason, Heathens can engineer 160 to 0 win against Rams. Rams that it's already relegated, that perhaps they can steal it from the two. How possible do you think this is?
I didn't know.
Keeping in mind that we have seen Cubs and Heathens score 100 points. That's on average scoring, let's say, 11 tries converted.
Let me put it like this. A 160 score has happened only once. Only once by Cubs.
This could be the second time.
No, it was by Cubs, right?
Yeah.
And I guess Lirabos, I think.
Yeah.
Please.
Lira or Gulu.
Gulu.
One of those.
No disrespect to those, but Rams is a very big team, man. It's just unfortunate, but I actually didn't know this start, I promise. I thought if we draw, which is highly impossible. If I'm to bet today, I'm betting on a no draw. They can never be a draw.
Definitely, if that option
they can never be a draw.
The Heathens odd would be like
I didn't know
20.
I didn't know that. I thought if we draw and Heathens wins, they are on top of the league.
No, according to what happened,
go to points difference. It will be
it will all be 77, 77, 77. Then they'll have to go to points difference, which Cubs is at the moment still very superior. And actually by like 250 over Heathens.
Let me tell you what I want to happen. I want Pirates to score 2 tries. I want Cubs to win the league. That's what I want. And I don't want that draw nonsense. Let the winner take it. Let's beat ourselves. Whoever wins
outright.
We clap
no
out the other one and party. As in, no draws here. Calculations.
I saw someone doing a calculation that what if the game ends 15-15 and Cubs has 5 penalties and Pirates has 3 tries. He was counting on a
bonus point.
But there's no bonus point for a draw.
And then if you give a bonus point for a draw, should we take a losing bonus? Because
guys, I was at King's Park and someone really did ask me that question.
Good.
But I didn't know they don't award the bonus point for draw. I thought as long as they have 3 extra tries,
the only bonus point that
is for win
there can only happen if you've won by a margin of 3 or if you've lost within a margin of 7
points. Yeah.
But Ruben, from the people you've been talking to, are you feeling the pressure for Saturday?
Actually, it's very interesting to see that usually the very vocal Pirates fans this week they have been a bit quiet. My work is very busy this time. I don't know.
Great.
I think Ruben is always poking into the Pirates camp. Today people were bantering each other.
Today they started because of Raymond's endless badgering.
No, it wasn't even Raymond. Let me tell you. Cubs posted something in the morning and it was quite of a provocation. Guys were like,
okay, I'm sorry I'm not on the Twitter over there. What did they post?
They posted I think it was a photo of Ngwao being handed off or something.
Oh yeah, I've seen that picture.
Like so they're saying something about something like since 1963. So the Pirates guys took offense and also had to dig into some archives and look for those tackles.
And I'm also here to report prior to the first meeting of Pirates and Cubs this season. Caesar here, we were with Edwin. Caesar said that Pirates I want to phrase it the way he said it. Pirates wants to be where Cubs is. Cubs is everything that Pirates wants.
You see, that is why we despise Cubs. They think our ambitions are that low. We want to talk for Heathens. We don't want to be where Cubs are.
Yeah, but you see, anyway, we can argue and bant about it, but the truth is there for everyone to see. I was heckled.
We do not want to be tenants. We do not want to be second in the tally of the trophies.
Yeah, but technically, Pirates are tenants too. So technically, Pirates are tenants too. That place is not written in the names of Pirates. So they're tenants, really. They are just lucky that their landlord is an ardent fan and one of them is their chairman, but they're tenants. But no, they have a home. That's the truth.
I was listening to you.
Have you ever heard that King's Park is hosting some end of year party of Stanvik and there cannot be a rugby game?
No, it has never happened.
Stanbic has closed off Legends.
That is very common.
Very common. There's a time they suspended games from Legends because
If I told you-
Stanbic had an end of year.
Clubs had to play
If I
at
told
minute
you-
like they are
if I told you-
reserve league club.
If I told you what Legends decided to do, you will even laugh.
Tell us.
Legends management decided because of the rain and the quality of the pitch, no one should use the pitch on Thursday.
I think that makes sense though.
So where the hell do you want cops to train
Where would you
from?
guys train
Hey,
from?
now that you don't have
We're
a
coming
home, go to Pirates.
It's okay. It's okay.
Once.
We shall see on Saturday who has trained all week and who hasn't trained. We shall see.
But yeah,
We shall see.
I think you've touched on one thing that's very important: conditions. It's been rainy for the past couple of weeks, and even today morning it rained.
Yeah.
Noah's Ark era was
Era.
about to resume. But what do you think about your team's chances, wet versus dry conditions? Keeping in mind, if it's dry, now we're assuming that between now and Saturday
The
there's
pitch
no
is dry.
rain, or it's the ground is becoming a bit drier, or versus the wet conditions. Do you think that affects the way your team plays in any way?
No. No. The little issue that we have with the wet pitch, they have to. They have to. TOO. They have to. They have the same issue. So I feel like the weather, yes, it will dampen our rugby, the quality of rugby. If it rained, it will really, because if you watch that Kings Park game, that's the best, one of the best. Though some people, I was in Ginger, but some people say that the game of Pirates Heathens in that mud was also of high quality.
It was of high quality,
Yeah.
but of a different kind.
A different kind.
Yeah, it wasn't really
so
expansive.
you saw that game against Kings at Kings Park, where the pitch was dry, it was kawa, and guys showed themselves. So I believe, dry or wet, both teams are going to show up. As much as we don't like Pirates, we respect them. They're a good rugby playing team, and the people we used to hate so much are those chaps whose age mates are still playing in Heathens. But anyway, they're a good rugby playing team, and
Someone made a joke that
we respect
Heathens
each other.
have 2 more games. There is a veteran game coming up.
He's easily taking strays.
Well, this is not from me. I just put it online.
I want us to appreciate some things.
Yeah,
Faizo Gama has played
man.
in about 4 decades. He has played in the 90s. He has played in the 2000s, in the 2010s, and now we're in the 2020s. Faizo Gama is still playing rugby and still playing good rugby.
Good rugby. Good rugby. I've always asked those veterans who taught them rugby, because now you changed my line of thought. Anyway, those
fine.
old chaps. There's a Uganda Cup final. We beat Pirates at Legends, and the game Pirates was winning at halftime.
Yeah.
And Timo and Roger Rukundo jumped on, and I can promise
I think
you.
for me, it's Casito who punished us.
Yeah, Casito punished you. But in the dirty work, Timo and Roger Rukundo, there's a way they play rugby that is different from... There's a reason why we always say that every time Gama jumps on, the fans of the opposition team say, damn, now Heathens is going to control the game. It's just unbelievable. Alex, there's never been a better throw of the ball after Alex Moviru. You get? And I want to know who taught them rugby, because those guys of old, you wait and watch that Legends match. That Legends game is going to show you chaps that have pot bellies. But I can tell you they're going to play good quality rugby. We're going to enjoy more than we've been enjoying some league games. I don't know who taught them rugby, but their rugby was supposed to be to breed longevity, which it has, and it was supposed to breed memories, which it has. I hope one day we say the same thing.
Jude, just looking at the conditions from your end, how do you think they will affect Pirates in the way that we have become accustomed to Pirates being the very expansive side, a side that wants to really, really express themselves and make the ball do a lot of the work? What do you think these conditions are going to do?
I think it's a very big factor, the conditions. If you look back at the Pirates Heathens game, I think everyone had written us off, because it had rained that morning. So I said Pirates cannot play. And I think we saw it even in the first half. In the first half, everyone was getting the ball and either trying to kick over the defense or trying to kick for Odong on the wing. They never really passed the ball to the midfield. So it affects the way we play generally. And I think, but the forwards on that day showed up. They really showed up. So I hope they can show up again if it rains.
Yeah, definitely. And the chances of it raining in between now and Saturday are very high. And just to echo what Raymond Ogwang said, that the forwards will have to earn their lunch money. As was the case, I was doing commentary on the weekend for the Cobs Impis game. It was really, the grounds were not very good, and the forwards really had to put in the work, and you could see the dominance of the Cobs forwards. But now we're also seeing a situation where the Pirates forwards have come of age. Usually, the two other teams besides Pirates that are competing in the customary top three have always had that slight advantage at the scrum or in the forwards against the Pirates. But it looks like Ruhweza Alema, Nathan Bwambale, Ivan Kabagambe, who are in the front row, and their follow-up core have come of age. What do you think about their chances? Keeping in mind, a game like Heathens, they played, if I'm not mistaken, 80 minutes.
Yeah, there was only one change in the scrum. That was
Umar.
That was Umar for China.
Yeah.
And when he came off, he told Marvin, shouted at Marvin.
Yeah,
he said,
you could
I
see
wanted to play 80 minutes.
He wanted to play 80
He wanted
minutes.
to play 80 minutes. He also still wanted
Did
to
Marvin punish him?
No, I don't know. I don't know if they had
Why
some
would you
sanctions.
punish
It's
someone
just in the
who's
heat of the moment. He has
passionate?
hunger.
Nothing.
Emotion.
There's so much emotion.
Someone
He
wanting
wants
to
win.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think a punishment would have been necessary if it was.
Yeah.
So Chivumbi or the young Frank Kakula, who has been impressive, who would you start in this very big, colossal game, I should say?
That statement assumes that Chimbowa is an assured starter.
No, yes, it does. I think Chimbowa is you're tighted without change. So you're whatever. You're loose head.
This is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I actually think Kakula is the most assured prop
Okay.
on the Cobs team.
But
Sol,
then Wilobo cannot bench Chimbo.
Sol,
Or do you think Sol Chivumbi can play both loose and tight?
I don't know. Sol has not been 50-50, 100. He got some muscular injuries, some, I think, a calf issue or a knee issue. So that's why he usually started on the bench. But all I can tell you, all those 3-4, any of them can start. I want to actually believe the other places are Pirates can be mentioned because they have a good team. But on especially the tight five, they're going to do nothing in that game. They can hold them. They can hold them because they've come of age, like you said.
Cesar, did you watch the Pirates season game?
Heathens has a useless pack. And I'm saying this
Are you sure
clearly.
about what you're saying?
Heathens, let me tell you, one of the points why I was angry with this whole review of the refs and that got Udimba over one call. Everyone was clamoring over that one call. The entire game of that Heathens match, their scrummers were just sleeping. Every single scrum, they didn't win a single scrum down, a single one. They have of the top three, they have the worst pack. I would not want Pirates to gauge themselves against that Heathens pack. I'm telling you, if I was give personal opinions, if we are to name of the top three packs, the least performing ones, their pack hinges on Chisano, granted, but their pack hinges on a 40-year-old. Okay, 40-plus-year-old. Let me tell you
But they had a
something.
very serious pack. You know, Shadon has played on the World Series.
Like,
He's a serious player.
World Series, what do you mean?
Oh, Kenya.
Oh, yeah, well, he has not shown it in the... That's what I wanted to bring.
He has been creating for Heathens.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
They have centers. Centers on an individual
That's what I wanted
level
to
has
talk
had a
about.
very good season.
That's what I wanted to talk
I believe
about.
Centers has had a good season.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Their pack and the Pirates pack are unbelievable of late. That come of age. When we mention the Pirates pack, we will always, I haven't watched so many rugby, so I didn't want to comment about it, but let me say it. Plus, this is my opinion. The Pirates forwards are good with ball. Set pieces, not so much, especially scrum down. Their line out, I think, is the best in the country. I want to believe because of that young man.
Then the bar for the line out is very low.
And
Because I see that we struggle as well.
Extremely low. the bar for lineouts in the season extremely low. We don't.
Yeah,
No
that is-
team.
I want to agree
No
with him
team
on
has
that.
no team has a hooker
Lineouts
who
have
can
been
throw
shambolic all
comfortably.
season.
No team has a hooker can throw comfortably. Pirates just has an edge over us, and Heathens would have had that edge hadn't Uhuru got banned for the season. But Pirates has that edge over us because they have an unbelievable jumper. A boy who I feel at the beginning was on that team because of his jumping, but then his game continuously improved and improved. I want to believe he's one of their most outstanding players this season, Tashovia. So what I think,
And
what-
with the guys returning, I can tell you Tashovia is one of the guys whose number is not under threat.
that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like I even said it on the space. Like his number has not been under threat for the last 2 seasons.
Because he's a specialist.
He's a specialist. That boy can get every line out. And oh my god, my favorite player in Pirates by far. My favorite. I always have one. Justin Marvin has been that player for a long time. Then he retired. Then Ivan. Then that Tashovia. Ever since Tashovia came.
Do you think,
what
do you
a
think
player?
your fellow Cubs people will be happy with all this praising of Pirates you're doing?
No. They
prior
know
to
me. They
the
know
game?
me. They know that.
But I think you have to be objective.
You have to be
Someone is
objective.
doing well.
I'm a rugby fan.
We have seen sports fans and in particular rugby fans throw objectivity out the window most of the time, especially even when the ref makes the right call. Like ref are too bar. For us, we are convinced.
I'm not going to say Tashovia is the best number 7 in the country. I can never make those comments. But me, I comment on what I see. And that no one, apart from Uhuru, no one bosses Tashovia on line out. But also, it might be because of his jump. I don't know. His lifters. I really don't know. I don't watch.
Of course,
their
it's a whole
training.
combination.
A whole
thing, training
combination
and
of things.
everything. But yeah,
on
he
the
is
scrum down,
outstanding.
I
But
can
also
tell
his
you
physique helps him.
on the
He's so
scrum
tall and
down,
long,
what
he
is
can
the
stretch.
what is going to help Pirates on the scrum down is if they are halfback, the number 9 puts that ball quickly and removes it quickly. You get? If they plan on pushing our back, oh my lord, they'll be humiliated. This is personal. Every other part of the pitch, they might have a case, but in the scrum, oh my god.
Jude, do you have any particular aspect of Cubs that you worry of, or any particular player?
I think for me, the Cubs bull is the small packs. Where I see the threat is their back 3, depending on if they can play both Karim and Casito. I think for me, that will cause us problem. Otherwise, I'm very confident the other departments.
Okay.
Can I also say something? It might come to bite me. Anyway, I feel like Pirates. There's something that the Pirates forwards do. They lose forwards when the ball leaves the hands of their number 9 and goes Ivan. They lose forwards, run and become wingers. Have you noticed? I don't know.
The back 3.
The back 3
structure.
But
the structure,
that's, I swear, they can pass that ball, and you see the ball
You're
and
going
reach
to
the
find-
winger,
you're going to see
and
Alex a lot on the wing.
and you find Alex on the wing. The 2 tries he scored against us, 2 tries he scored against. They were like that. The man was always the last guy on the line. I find that very beautiful, and I feel to beat Pirates personally, that's the only way you can stop that attack. You have to stop the ball from getting into the hands of Ivan, or force him do that what he was saying, kicking ball for the winger to grab, and once you allow him to flow that ball.
Let's talk a little bit about legends and how the fans are going to maneuver it. I put out a tweet. I think it was yesterday, and I was shocked to the amount of reviews that came through on my tweet, because I thought it was only the experience that I had, but one of those rugby games where they have this thing of you can't pay directly to the bar person, so you have to go through the waitress or the waiter, and then they have to put it on some payment POS system thing.
Yeah.
So one time a waitress, I go there with, I don't know if it was 50 or 20k, I don't know, but the waitress told me to go and look for my own change. Now, on a day like Saturday, where we are sure even other fans who might skip their own team's games just to watch this game, because it's a once
Of course,
in
in a
a
lifetime.
wild game.
It's
A wild
it's a big. I saw someone today saying because Chivoli is not really a
Mm.
rugby playing school.
Mm.
So he said in that Chivoli group, people are talking about the game. He's
Yeah.
like, man, this game was just, and this is a new fan. He's like, man,
And that's great to
A
see.
workmate
game
of mine
is catching
texted
up.
me. He's
Mm.
out of the country, and he texted me. He supports Cobs. I want to believe because of me, because he's my very very good friend. But he also he knows BMAC and all that, Brian McCallama and all that stuff. And he told me, Caesar, so what are our chances? Are we winning? This guy can't care less about rugby, but he was asking me about the game. And I was hoping that I would use work to hide away from the pressure. My God, it found me there. So I feel like this is going to be an unbelievable.
But now,
I just hope everything aligns. I hope reffing is top notch. I hope the weather aligns. I hope that
you better start praying.
I've been praying. Aleko went to the Vatican and I sent a prayer for the game.
We shall wait and see if the prayers work. But like I was saying, I wonder if Legend is ready for that kind of pressure. I wonder if they are ready for it's going to be the impression they give of the sport, even from what happens off the pitch, is very important.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if they will be ready.
I hope they are. But for me, I think for me on an individual level, usually I don't drink during games.
Okay.
I usually buy like 2 bottles of water and I'm sorted like for the game because I don't want to move. I don't want to. So for me, that's my remedy to the service thing. Maybe then I can hustle after the game, but during the game, I just want to avoid my movements. Just enjoy the game.
I think they'll be. I hope they will be ready because
maybe you can help us pass that communication on to Cobs, who are the hosting team, to pass it on to Legends.
Well, I know for sure Cobs will watch this podcast. I hope they can do that because at the end of the day, Legends is not so. It's near very many other hangout places. Guys can just confidently enter their cars. That's why you reach Legends on some days and at 10 p.m. it's empty. Not because we hate Legends, but because of those issues. Now, me, I'm comfortable because all those waitresses and waiters are my friends. And even if they delay my balance, I can get it tomorrow or on Monday or on Tuesday. But a person like Jude is also a resident at Legends. A person like a new fan who is there purposely for that game and hopes to come back. If service, I don't want to be on Twitter and either team has won and we are complaining about the service of Legends. You get it dampens the sport. And rugby fans, we are the biggest issue of our own sport because we demand good quality service. So we are the ones attacking, tarnishing the image of the sport because we want good quality. So I hope they do their job and be ready. Maybe because it's a whole big thing and I think there's going to be a fan park and all that stuff. Maybe there will be several points. If Danny,
where do you put the fan park at Legends?
I don't know. We wait to see.
It has to be quickly constructed after the game.
I don't know where they're going to put it. They might put it. They might put it at the stone.
Stage there.
They'll put it at that stone place. That place we chill. It's going to be, I think, where the fan park is.
Okay.
They should bounce those. Or he will do that car elevated VIP stage. Then next to it will be the fan park. I think. I don't know what he's going to do.
So I want to ask you guys this as we start to think about closing. Winning this trophy, which victory ideally would be better for rugby in general, looking at the bigger picture? Which team, if they won the trophy?
I see where you're going, Ruben.
I am not going anywhere.
You've been talking about this for a long time, but it's okay. Ask the question.
In the grander scheme of things, because we have seen over the past 2 seasons or the past 2 years, a higher influx of new rugby fans coming into the game. So, if Cobs won, what impact would that have to the general scope of the game? If Pirates won, what impact would it have? I just want to get your thoughts on that. Because I have my own opinion.
Of course, I would do.
So first of all, I want to put this out there. When we won the league in 2018, I remember Educate saying, we have a team that should be dominating for like the next 5 years. And we've not been able to do that. I think the first year after that was on our own internal doing. We just failed on our own. But the next 2 years, we feel like there are question marks there. National team taking out most of our guys. We've had shorter seasons, so it has not really been a proper competition for us. And we feel like this is our very good chance. So we've attracted guys, and these are new fans. I am not sure whether they are, I don't know, hardcore fans. I do not know.
Fans
So-
have to start somewhere. We can't all be
Yeah,
that.
and that's okay. But I feel like you asked what would be the impact. I feel like if we by any chance fail to win the league, I feel like some people would have weak hearts and they are like, maybe I should look for a new team. That would be the impact I see.
Did it happen after 2018 you won? Okay, fine.
Caesar, Cobs has had the majority of its fans have been around for a minute. They have been battle hardened by heartbreak, but they have also seen their fair share of
Victories.
So, what do you think the impact is? Of which, keep in mind, on one of our podcasts, Emmanuel Okot said that there is a big challenge with Heathens and Cobs in attracting new fans.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't think if winning trophies would help us attract new fans, we would be some of the most supported teams in the country. You get, but there's a club that has one trophy and they have the most fans.
But Caesar, you guys have not really been successful in the last 10 years, except in sevens.
10.
You have like 2 or 3 leagues in the last 10 years.
Yes, 2 or 3 leagues, and the others have been taken by
30%
one club.
conversion.
The other, but also that's that. I don't think it's right. But let's continue. The other, if we have 30% conversion, 70% has been by one other club, or 60%.
Yeah.
10% by
65, 5% by Pirates, please. 65, and what has it helped them? The new people that are at Chadondo are not because of rugby.
Musa said
They're
that
there.
they have failed to convert Chadondo pork eaters into rugby fans.
Well, that's true because the biggest crowd at Chadondo can be seen on 2 days: Friday because of end of week, and
TGIF.
Sunday because of the band they do, and it's very unfortunate. I don't know what we can do, but to answer your question, to answer that question is to be both biased and unbiased. Biased wise, I think it will be a beautiful thing for our players considering what they've gone through. It would show that they don't against all odds, when you stick in and grind out your games and you play for yourself, you can win. And after we win and God willing we get a sponsor, then players it will have removed this nonsense people say that our players are mercenaries. Sadly, even our club members say it, that our players are mercenaries and they play for money, but we've not had a penny this season, and the players have played the best rugby in
I
their
don't know why
lives.
people find that as
So,
an insult, man.
First and foremost,
where we are going, we want people to take it
I
as
don't
a
know
joke.
why that is an insult. They play for money.
Like-
the hell? You want them to play for what?
The
And that's the only other issue I have
Crazy.
with the veterans. They have the guys who played before. They have this jazz where they say, in our days, they were giving us $50. Sorry, please spare us. Unfortunately, in your days, Museveni had just come into power. This time it's different. Guys have some dimes. If some guy can be semi-pro, please calm down. Things have changed. Those days we didn't have social media. Those days we didn't have fan packs. Those days, things have changed. I feel to Cobs, it will be a validating thing for the players because it will disapprove so many statements. For rugby in general, really, at this time, this game, I might not be very objective because I don't think Pirates fans will stop being Pirates fans because they've lost. It will give them the hunger. Yes, the doubt will create itself. Was that a one-team wonder or something like that, one-hit wonder? But they will stick to see. And the Pirates fans and the current crop of Pirates fans, the ones that I talk to, the ones that I see, they're in for the long haul. They see what the club is doing and they want to be a part of it because they worry that should they leave and join other clubs like Sakoti, leave and join other clubs, and it becomes a big franchise and successful thing, they will feel so bad.
I just hope that Cobs can be able to give us the party that I believe Pirates will if they win the trophy. But anyway,
That's what
Ruben
want.
was going through the corner.
That
just to
is
come
what
back
he
to this.
was saying. Nothing else was.
you guys are there talking more.
I know. I
Only
knew. I
party that we
knew.
want.
I knew that's what you wanted.
Yeah, but
but-
anyway, envision Cobs wins. How are you planning to celebrate?
Well, sadly I won't be at the game. There's a meeting I have to attend that it's crucial, so I won't be at the games. But what I know for sure, me as me,
Mm-hmm.
even in that meeting I'll cry. I will cry like a baby because
Can you send us a video of that, please?
let me tell you, I will. The first thing I do when I leave that meeting, I will run to Legends. There are so many people have offered open bars because of that game. Let me tell you, I don't know why this game is like my do or die for me personally. For me, because one, what I've been telling you, what my players have been going through, but two, because I don't like Pirates. I don't
That
like
we know,
Pirates.
that we
But
have
the
known for
only
a
thing
while.
that will make me sad when Pirates lose, is Marvin,
Okay.
because he's the one player, my favorite player, Ugandan rugby by far, and he's the one person who I want him to see him win or succeed, because he's a young guy who has not left the sport like many of the people that get injured and they leave. He has stuck in there. He has learned from Coach Bobby. He's taking the team. He's coaching his peers. You see, that's a big plus. He's coaching his peers, people he has played with. It's just fortunate that when he was playing, he was untouchable in his club, but he's coaching his peers and they listen to him. So if at all, God forbid, Pirates won, I would be happy for him.
I think I agree with you. I think I rate Marvin as the most intelligent player I know, and
He's my favorite.
He puts in a lot of emotion in the game. Like you can hear him on the touchline shouting at the line out. It's like, that's a 2-ball, that's a 6-ball. That's like he's so like. And one time he told me when he was a player, he told me he never used to watch games when he was injured because he's like, man, I don't have control of the game. Why should I watch it? He was like, when I'm a player, I know I can influence the game.
No, and he loves it. It hurts him. You see, he's in pain at King's Park. Oh my God, at King's Park. After we won, he stood in one place and looked somewhere for like 2 minutes, as in he was a man. Anyway, if at all they are to win the league, I'd be very happy for him. No one else.
The last time we won the league, Marvin scored 2 tries against you guys.
That game.
One thing I know about life, it's very interesting because Caesar, there's one thing you said that you do not like Pirates. I hope, one, your heart can be able to handle what might happen. Two, I also hope that you don't get a better half who is a Pirates fan.
My better half is not in rugby, and for a very...
You can't hide them. You can't hide
They
them
will
for so
never
long
step
from
on
the
rugby
game.
on my own accord. Never. What a sport.
Jude, envisioning you win, what is your perfect celebration idea or concept?
I have not really thought about it much, but what I can tell you is last week when I was at a game, a friend of mine told me we need to go karting on Saturday. I said I have a big game. I said, what time does it end? But then the fixture was saying 2:30. I said by probably 5. I said, can you make it? I said, I don't think I can. I said, I'm either going to be too happy or I'm going to be depressed. So that day I don't know what will happen.
But anyway, just in a few seconds, what's your prediction for that game? And I know the predictions are pretty much biased here, but anyway, what's your prediction? I wanted to ask about probable lineups, but
do it.
I want to just
do it.
That won't take too long.
Eh.
I'm going to ask, what's your prediction for the game, and who do you think is going to be most impactful for your team?
I think we're going to win 21-12. There will be a Tashoba try there.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Good, sir. From the Blue Army.
My prediction is man of the match is going to be Pius Ogena.
Is he going to break the
Yes,
try
he's
scoring
going
record?
to. He's going to. Man of the match is going to be Pius Ogena. The winning try is going to be scored by Radio Joseph. And he's going to have an 100% kicking percentage.
Okay.
That's very bold.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Any wagers between you two? The last time we had a Cobs Pirates, Bruno put on a Cobs jersey. Any wagers today between you two gentlemen?
I'm not up for it. I would never put on a Cobs jersey, even if it meant saving my life. So,
No.
Would you date a Cobs fan?
yeah, I would. I don't know. As long as they have the other qualities, why not?
So anyway, gentlemen, I'll start with you, Caesar. What are your last words to your team and to your fans?
Fans. To my fans, thank you very, very, very much for what you've done this season for the players and for the club, and for always heeding our calls and my calls, especially when it comes to helping the players and being there for the players when we didn't have a sponsor and they needed logistics. You're the best fans in the world because of that. You're selfless to the players, and I respect that beyond measure. To the boys, personally, you have overachieved. You've outdone yourself this season. This is by far my best season because of players. This is a player season, and they've outdone themselves despite all the ugly odds that they've gone through. They've outdone themselves, and for me, win or lose, I'm immensely proud of my players. They've done unbelievably well, but they're going to win, and they will deserve that trophy because
Okay.
it will be theirs.
Jude.
I think our fans have made themselves had the most beautiful lot of fans I think you can see in the league. They have backed our players everywhere on social media. You see, whenever they talk ill about a Pirates player,
Guys,
you
come.
may go into
Ask
some
Caesar, he knows.
Oh, Caesar, what happened?
I wasn't even talking about Pirates players. I was talking about something, guys.
You will tell us that.
Guys hacked me.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
lord.
our fans have really backed the boys. They believe in them. So I think the boys we just have one more game, 80 minutes, put in 100% one last time, and we win the league.
Okay. And maybe just in a few seconds,
I have a wager for him. But
he's not
after
going to do it.
we'll do it something nice. We'll do
Okay.
it. You should I do the wager before you?
You can do the wager. I had to ask him one last thing, but you can do the wager. Anyway, I'm sure people see you on social media. Of recent, you've been fact checking Cobs and Heathens. People are saying Cobs is the most successful and Heathens what. But now people that see you on social media and people that also see, like, what's your rugby background? We all know. Okay, we know it's smack oriented, but
Like I said, I love information. I grew up at a time when our parents used to read newspapers a lot. These days, my muse tells me I've seen on Opera News or what. But whenever my father used to come back in the evening, if he didn't have like a toy, he had like a newspaper. So I would look out for the cartoons. By then, they used to put league tables of football and you see flags. And as a kid, I was getting excited by those things. Then you turn to the back pages, you're seeing illustrations of hockey sticks. And you're like, okay, these are some good sorts. So, and also my father was a lover of sport, especially soccer and motorsport. So I used to watch soccer games and rallies. So then when I joined SMARC, man, I remember the first day I went very early. Reporting time was 2 p.m. My mosaic.
you're one of those guys they brought in the morning.
They brought me in the morning at 7.
Same here. Same here. Unfortunately.
That is true. So me by like 4 p.m. everything got cleared. I
Yeah.
got in my bed, laid, what. So you have an OB there. He tells you, hey man, let's go to the pitch and you see what's happening. So I find guys play. By then I think there was schools league, so you see guys training. So I developed love for the sport. Of course, I had also a teacher, Mr. Mutebi. Mr. Mutebi is the patron of rugby at SMARC. And I loved his subject, technical drawing. So his lessons were basically rugby storytelling lessons. You would tell stories about rugby life for 40 minutes, then give you an assignment for the
Yes, I swear.
next lesson.
I swear.
So it was really easy falling in love with the sport. So I did happen to be very talented as a player. So for me, what I would do when I was at SMARC, I used to watch rugby train. Like that was my sports time. I used to go after classes, I go shower immediately, then I go and I watch. I fell in love with the sport like that.
Okay. So, sir, your wager. Keeping in mind that we are losing daylight.
Yeah, I'm going to just talk something small about Mr. Mutebi. Mr. Mutebi, I did technical drawing S3 and S4. I wasn't good at it.
There are a lot of people. There are a lot of
got a
people. There are a lot of
C5.
people like you who just did the subject.
I
because
got
of
a
the time we were telling
C5.
stories.
I got a C5 in TD. Yeah, C5. I wasn't good at it, but I chose technical drawing because I wanted to hear rugby stories. And I knew that should I be in Mr. Mtevi's class, I was like him. I wasn't really good at rugby. I wasn't really good. I would survive. I'd play for my class and house team. Even then, I was a starter, big man. Class team, I was always a 2-minute guy, like play 2 minutes. I wasn't really good at playing the sport. But I thought that in my S3 and S4 that when I'm in Mr. Mutevi's class and he sees me on the list of the guys going for rugby outside school, I'd be on the team. That's how I made an educational decision. Can you imagine? Very stupid.
I don't people made those
career
decisions.
decision.
A lot of people made those decisions.
Placing
because
on
of,
rugby. Anyway, my wager is.
And I also
my
happened
wager
to
is.
be a good writer. So because I was a good writer from my S3, I wrote an article about the Zulus, the guys who won the first Smart League trophy. Every rugby captain that came after would want me to be on that bus. Until I reached a point where I used to feel so much pressure when the team was playing that I would be like, I'm not going.
Anyway, my wager is you have two Pirates fans. Sunny and Sheena.
Yeah.
You know them.
Sheena is the...
Do not describe, but that is the one. Sheena
No, I
and
didn't know
Sunny, yes.
this.
Yeah, that's that one.
You people.
If we win,
Uh-huh.
you take them to Nanjing for a meal, both of them, at the same time. If we win, if we win, you take them for dinner at Nanjing.
Why Nanjing? Why not any other
Nanjing
place?
is my favorite restaurant, so I've chosen Nanjing. If we lose, I do the same.
But you've chosen the Why don't I choose for you?
Okay, choose for me. Choose for me. And those are my.
Okay, Caesar, me what I want to choose is the restaurant. You keep the people you want to take. Yeah, but we are on. Yeah.
Choose the restaurant.
Now I'll choose another restaurant. I will think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are on.
But the bet is on.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have had it, and the conversation can go on forever. But yet again, we are met by the plague of the evening, I should say, but not necessarily a plague because it's a Wednesday. There's a lot to do. Starting from here, the Fred and Winnie B&B. My personal prediction would be party, regardless, is what I want.
Why are you being political?
It's going to be that Jazz on Saturday.
Guys,
I can even wager on that. It's going to be on that.
Thank all of you for being part of the Fat Cats podcast. For those that engage with us on social media.
Does Joel get a prediction?
Joel, do you have a prediction for Saturday? Joel, our
Camera person.
director of rugby, is a Hippos fan. I don't know what his prediction would be.
A draw and 160 for
He
Heathen.
says a draw between Cobs and Pirates and 160-0 versus
for
against
Heathens.
Rams for Heathens. So
But that would
he
be a
thinks
very
Heathens is going to
beautiful
win.
story.
Well, that can be crazy.
That
I think
can be so
rugby
crazy.
can shut down temporarily. But guys, thanks for being part of this podcast. See you at Legends on Saturday. Cheers.